Good afternoon. For the record, it is 12:05. We'd like to begin the City of Laredo's Economic Development Advisory Committee meeting. Can you take roll?
Sure can. Rene Gonzalez,
Here?
Arturo Dominguez,
Here.
he's virtual. Myra Hernandez, Cesar Garay,
Present.
Carol Alexander,
I'm here.
she's present online as well, Mr. Chairman. Fernando Balazo,
Here.
Dano Carranza, and George Leal is not going to be present today. But you do have a quorum, 5 members.
Very good, welcome. I guess we'll begin, if we can look at the meeting, at the minutes, and review the minutes, and then I'll ask for a motion. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion to accept the meeting, the minutes?
Thank you, so that's a second, all right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Passes.
Carol?
I don't know, I'm here.
Thank you very much, the motion for the minutes passes. Any public comments?
None at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. Action item number 1, discussion and possible action on accepting resignation by Junior Rumnowski from the Economic Development Advisory Committee and confirming vacancy of the EDAC District 8 Committee seat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This one, while there's no action required by the committee, I wanted to bring this before the committee just to let everybody know, if it wasn't known, that Mr. Radnowski did submit his resignation for District 8. That's a vacant seat. I guess the only action going forward would be to notify the committee that we're working with the council member and their assistant to notify them of this vacant seat so they can fill it as soon as possible. Hopefully by the next city council meeting, you'll have District 8 filled and you all will be back to full power.
Thank you very much. Item 2, discussion and possible action to reevaluate the current City of Laredo Chapter 380 incentive guidelines.
Yes, also, Mr. Chairman, I looked through the last biannual report of the committee, what you guys have been working on, and ladies, what you've been working on. And it seems to me that a reoccurring theme this past year was the vacant building ordinance and Chapter 380 incentive agreements, specifically different types of incentives for different types of industries, districts, things like that. So in an effort to kind of keep the committee on, and this is just my recommendation, but to keep the committee on a project, to see it through, to get it done and have something actionable to take to council, I thought this would be a good start. The Chapter 380 guidelines were drafted and accepted back in 2021, so not too long ago, but time has changed. The city's evolving, it's continuing to grow, it's continuing to move in different directions. So I felt it a good idea to bring this to the committee to see how you guys felt about going through this current Chapter 380 guideline and making recommendations on where we can improve it. If there's anything that needs to be updated or revised, I figured this might be a good thing for the committee to tackle.
Very well. I know that, thank you very much for bringing this back on the agenda. I know, Mr. Dominguez, you were very interested in this process. Do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, I've been trying to create other industries, 380s or 360s or whatever the number is, because the current one is only, I feel that it's only for people that manufacture or resell stuff, and the majority of the business in Laredo are service oriented, and I don't think it fits to the service oriented businesses. That's why I thought it was a good idea to do one just
Perfect. And Mr. Chairman, if I may, just for the record, I did pull together just a quick summary of what the 380 guidelines currently have. Right now, there is an application fee. We are asking, for a $2,500 application fee. That's what we've been asking for. That's something that could be revisited, it could be raised or lowered. The minimum thresholds, the guidelines do call for a $10 million minimum investment and the creation of 30 new full-time jobs. And the maximum is 10 years. That's pretty standard on 380s. The types of investment amounts are tiered out as how much they are eligible to get back. They're tiered out at 10 million and 30 full-time jobs up to 75% for 5 years, 20 million and 60 jobs, 85% up to 7 years, and then over 30 million and over 120 jobs, they're considering 100% for the up to 10 years. Now the types of target industries listed in that are manufacturing, advanced or light, healthcare, distribution and logistics, including produce and cold storage, destination retail, and then there are other provisions that I'd like the committee's help to look into, because it does say that other industries qualify if they bring at least $10 million in the 30 full-time jobs. They align with the comprehensive plan. They contribute to an unequal contribution to the city. There are certain provisions to qualify local business expansions. So local business, for example, may qualify with a $7 million investment in 20 jobs. So it's lower than the minimum amount, but it's really just for local businesses if that provision exists. And for downtown infill projects, so they lower the threshold again to $5 million to qualify for that. So those are things that are in there that I'd like the help of the committee to look at.
Can you send that paperwork to each of the board, each of the members?
I sure will.
And then I'd like to see if maybe action-wise, we can ask staff to maybe not only look at the 380, but see what other cities may have, smaller price versions of incentive type packages that may be for small businesses in a shopping center or stuff like that. There might be some other ones that we'd like to see.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to see if we can get a motion to ask staff to look through different cities and compare what other incentive packages may exist in other cities that may not be as high as $10 million, but maybe $1,500,000. There might be some small, and they may be 6 jobs. We are a small business community. Many of even the warehousing systems don't have that 3,000 job staffing. So
Right.
we'd like to see if maybe, and I'd ask to see if I can get a motion to require us to ask staff to verify that information.
Were you all able to hear that motion okay? And let the record show that Mr. Tano Carranza is present online, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Arturo, your thoughts?
About the motion to create other, to ask staff to create other industries. I mean, each industry that you mentioned would be nice to have, one for each one, or add, or combine them, depending on the type of service. But for staff to look for other incentives and look at other cities to create new incentives for other industries.
With different price brackets, maybe. Could I get a second on that motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carranza.
I just want to make the record that Ms. Myra is here, so she'll be involved in the vote if she wants to be brought up to speed before she makes a vote on the item. Ms. Myra, we're going over item number 2, discussion possible action to reevaluate the current guidelines for the Chapter 380. And very high level, I just gave the committee a rundown of what the guidelines do say that they're trying to incentivize, kind of some of the key criteria that are in there. And Mr. Chairman has made a motion, actionable motion for staff to move forward, looking at what other cities are doing as far as looking into incentives for, particularly for different types of industries.
And different values also. And what we'll be getting by email will be the present 380 guidelines, so you can have a copy of it. So I have a motion on the floor and a second, and are all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Under communications, update on vacant building ordinance and subcommittee review status and any other matter incident thereto. I know that, the city manager has been trying to get a meeting, and there's been other members of other committees that have been able to say, no, I'm not available at those times. We've been very quiet on that, so I guess we were able to meet on those days. But I know he recommended some other dates, so I wanna make sure that Carol and Tano are aware of
Yep.
of the dates, so we can try to, because we'd like to move it quicker than, you know, we can't meet at this time, we have to find a day, so if we have to be the ones to start the conversation on when the
Okay.
date would be, I'd appreciate that. So if you can just send Tano, that email again where they ask for dates, and Carol, so that we can, discuss amongst ourselves and come up with an opinion of what we think is the best date to have that meeting, because we need to move forward on that. I think there's, necessity from all the committees, and it's just to figure out a time when we can meet.
Okay, yes, sir, I know that the EDAC did select their subcommittee. The Downtown Business Improvement District does have their own committee set for this, and so does the TERS #1. So there are 3 subcommittees that will be working together, which that kind of makes it a little bit difficult. I know the city manager, Mr. Nebb in particular, is very, very passionate about this item to satisfy council's wish to get this back in front of them with something actionable soon. In talking with him, I mean, he's all for having something before the end of the year, but, you know, just to be realistic about the holidays, Christmas, and the New Year, you know, his recommendation is if we're gonna get this thing done, let's get it done right, let's put all the attention to it that we can. So, you know, if there's a kickoff meeting before the end of the year, that could be something, but right now, what staff is looking at, realistically, is something into the middle of January, maybe, to really get going and get this thing off the ground.
Alright. Carol, any comments, or Mr. Canasa?
No, I just, go ahead, Carol.
Oh, I'm sorry, I know you can't see me, but, so I'm wondering, I'm pretty available after this week for that meeting. I'm very interested in what this is, but I didn't understand about there being a kickoff, like, once we have the vacant building ordinance, there'd be a kickoff component of it. What do you think is the purpose of the vacant building ordinance?
Right now, I believe that there is the version that Mr. Nebb has provided. I don't know, I mean, if the group doesn't have it, we do have a version of that. I believe one of the other committee members, not from the EDAC, but from the Downtown Business Improvement District, did submit another version. I think at the end of the day, Mr. Nebb is okay with whatever version that the committees use as a base, just so that it is all in agreement that that's the version everyone will be working off of. I think the safest version would be the one that was presented to council. I mean, I think that was the last version that was kind of workable between the city and council, the last thing that they saw. So it'd be up to the committees what version that you use, but that's what we would work off of.
I think, Carol, the timeline would be for all 3 committees to see what the city's new updated recommendation would be, and then what input we provide on that version that they're running. I know, as he mentioned, one of the other committee members has a draft that he sent to people. I don't know if you received that draft, but it was still very general. So I think the city's gonna be looking at detailed material, and hopefully we can provide some of that detailed material that is needed so that we can move forward on this. Because, I mean, I don't know what the goal of the other committees are, but I think we had mentioned before that we want to be able to have an ordinance already in place that we can work with.
And so thank you for that. I'm hoping that since there are 2 different committees and multiple people that this will affect, creating or identifying the objective of the ordinance is a I guess a collaborative, so that there could be a collaboration effort, that everybody's working with the same objective to start with. But I think that when I looked at the vacant building ordinance, it started out as with one objective, and then it's morphed into something that seems to be punitive, connected to, property owners. And so I'm not sure if the actual objective has been identified so that everybody that's looking at it shouldn't be working with a different objective. So, thank you for sending that, version that you said that somebody's working on. I hope it starts with an objective, and then we all are looking at it, we're looking at the same objective.
And the other thing is that, of course, this committee will be making recommendations to city council, and city council will still have to accept. So we wait on that. Tano, any comments?
Yeah, no, I know that you mentioned that, that there was two versions, I guess, of the vacant building ordinance. Can those be shared with the,
Yes.
subcommittee?
Yes.
And then, also, I'm sorry, I guess, there were some emails and I saw that the meeting was canceled, but I guess I was confused about which meeting was gonna be moved. But yeah, just send me the dates and we can certainly schedule something with the committee. Now, my understanding, I guess when we went the motion to create the subcommittee was to work with the other, committees, right? The, downtown business district, et cetera. And then I saw an email, that it said that we're gonna be working with staff, so, just kind of, was a little bit confused about that. Are we working with staff or working with the other, committees to come up with the final version recommendation of the vacant building ordinance?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, to some extent, staff does need to be involved to know kind of what the plan is moving forward with the ordinance, but I think the goal of this whole thing is to get these three committees to work together. And, if I could just clarify a little bit, I think the kickoff meeting, and I'm sorry, Carol, if I misunderstood, but the kickoff meeting is what Mr. Neb is planning to do. And I think the basis of that is to get all three committees in the same room, most likely in council chambers, to have a very open dialogue with all three committees present, to go through, I guess, what the city's expectations are of this vacant building ordinance, what all the committees are, to give a nice open space for everybody to speak and work together. Because and this is just the way I interpret it, I don't think that it's meant for each committee to meet separately and come up with their own things and then add it all into one later. I think the idea really is for everyone to get in the same room and do it. And I think that first meeting that Mr. Neb is planning to have with all three committees is gonna be the good start point.
And do you think it's gonna start with the objective so that you know what we're hoping to achieve?
I'm sure, yeah, if
think
it's not, I'll make sure that that's in there
I
for sure.
think that would be the basis as committee members to try to make that part of the dialogue. So, when we start meeting, I think if we can steer it in that direction and hope that the other committees are also thinking in the same manner, then that would make us hit that goal.
Yeah,
I think, Carol has a good, point, there needs to be a kind of an objective, that's tied into the ordinance or the recommendation, right? So we can work, on that. So yeah, we can share those, I know that, you mentioned, I think Justin had a version of it, and I think he shared it with the group. I don't know, I think it would, I know for sure, you were in there. But maybe we can share both versions so we can have enough time to review before we meet and come with ideas and all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you know if part of this conversation, I know that we also were spearheading the downtown summit, which was supposed to be doing much of what I think this is entailed to, is bringing all interest parties together to start developing this process. Do you know what happened to that?
I don't. I mean, the only downtown summit that I know of is the one that was at the college, a couple years ago maybe. But no.
I know
This was
it
the one that Julian and Justin were.
Yeah, I'll send some because I know it was posted on the Harvard Bloomberg news report, and it was also part of the Laredo Morning Times, so I know that there's some history there. And I think somewhere we paused it. I
Yeah.
just don't know the whys.
Yeah, I do know that, yeah, so the Bloomberg study was an intern out of our office, she's the one that spearheaded that whole initiative and did the final presentation, you know, out there, I don't know if anybody in here was there, but with all the sticky notes and putting everything, it was a real nice collaborative, workshop, and then she did provide a final report to city council. If you don't have that, I'd like to share that with the
Yes,
committee, if
please.
you don't mind, because there's a lot of good findings in there, and it was focused on the,
And that's your
DBO.
emphasis and expertise, so I would hope that that
Yeah.
is one of the spearheads. We already spent the money for it, so might as well use.
Right.
Try to
Right.
create a
Yeah.
trail.
Mhm.
Very good. Just, one item, going back to that last, month's meeting on the guidance of the individual that we were gonna get to do a study on the thing. Can you ask him to start giving you some kind of plan, like what his timeline will be and stuff, so that we can?
Oh, yeah. The TXP?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
And that seems to be everything on the agenda for today. We're very quick. Thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We get there first.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Yes. Donald Grant's the second, Mr. Randazzo.
Was it-
All
Was there a
in
motion
favor?
already?
Huh?
Was there a motion or there was,
Yes.
okay,
One,
okay.
Mr. Carranza motion and second, Mr. Randazzo. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.